Good morning. This live is for myself too. Snot, tears, and breakdown. Look at my terrible hair. Oh my God, I'm having a shocker. I am about to have a mental breakdown myself with technology. Everything I've touched today has gone to absolute poo. And I'm about to tell you about snot, tears, and mental breakdowns. And meanwhile, the back between my shoulder blades is like this because the stress that's just big cause from me trying just to do a simple live video is sending me over the edge. I don't know if anybody's watching. If you're watching, please, please, please comment so I know that I'm not talking to myself, because last time I did the whole video and it didn't actually stream live, which looks like it's actually doing that again. But as per last time, it did stream after the fact. This does not appear to be working. I may be getting off in a second and trying to go across on my personal page, because there's no point doing a live video if it's not live and nobody's watching. Thumbs up to that. I'm going to give it another minute. If nobody's on and watching, I'm going to jump off and I'm going to go across to my personal page, which seems to be the safest option today, and use that to do my live video. Oh dear. Oh, we have someone. Okay, it's going live. Sandy, I've had a shocker. I'm swearing at the computer. I'm trying to use Zoom. It's bloody got a delay on it, a feedback. I couldn't turn it off. And I'm talking about stress. This happens to me every single Wednesday when I have to do my webinar. Whatever I'm talking about, I end up going through it in the minute. Thank you, universe, for the entertainment that you are providing everyone else. So I've been through my computer. I've been through Zoom. I even got to the point of using my phone on my ring light holder. Oh no, the phone just wants to fall off. I tell you, so I'm just old schooling it. I'm holding my phone in my hand, sitting on my chair and doing my live the simple way. Tell you what, give me some feedback, make me feel better, girls and boys, because I'm having a little moment here with technology. Hello, Marita. Hello, Sandy. So today, I'm going to hold it up here. I'm going to get a sore arm. Today, actually, I'm going to put my pretty light on. It makes me feel better. There you go. There you go. All right, we are set. I'm going to lounge back into my couch. I could lie down and do a live like this. Do you reckon you would notice if I'm lying on the couch? Look at me. Okay, I'm going to sit up and be professional, because that is what I am. And if I'm not, it doesn't matter. So today I want to talk to you about snot, tears, and breakdowns. This topic for me was, my brain scrambled. Oh my God. I got the idea from the retreat that my sister and I just ran up in Cairns, the Ascension Retreat for our high-end VIP clients, the exclusive Business Mastery Retreat. And the reason I got the idea from this retreat is because, let's say, there was a lot of snot, a lot of tears, and a lot of breakdowns. And when I was in the Uber going back to the airport, I said to the girls, oh my God, what can I talk about on Wednesday for the webinar? And the suggestion was that we could talk about how to have a breakdown, basically, because what I realized on the retreat is that no one actually, we all know, but we've forgotten how to actually have a breakdown, because we are so used to holding everything in, keeping our shit together, like looking like we're all poised and that we're all okay. We're expert at doing that, but what we're not experts at of doing is letting it all go. We don't know how to do it because we've forgotten, because we're so used to doing the opposite. We're so used to just pretending that it's fine. So to actually let go is very foreign concept for some people. I'm pretty good at it myself because I'm a good little crier. But for people that don't cry or are having issues with their emotions, it's a big thing to actually let go. And what do I mean by let go? I mean the ugly, that's why I called the live snot, tears, the ugly, heaving, crying, yelling, screaming, losing your shit sort of breakdown. And this is what happens at retreats. And the reason it happens at our retreats is because we provide a safe space for people to be held, nurtured, and guided through these breakdowns. And I'll tell you what, it's pretty ugly at the time, but afterwards it's you feel so much better, so much lighter, so much happier. And I can talk from experience because I've been through one of these myself, which I'd like to talk about. If anyone here is watching and has been through a breakdown, I'd love to hear from you. Put in the comments if you've had a snot, tears and a breakdown, and if you have, how do you feel after it? Please make this as interactive as you can to calm my crazy mind. Yeah, I have had one of these. And the beautiful / funny story, the funny thing about it is I actually had my breakdown at my own retreat, a retreat I was running, I was facilitating, and I decided that was the time to have my breakdown. So I found myself, whilst thank God it was dark, it was later in the night, everyone went off stargazing, and I found myself with a lady who we had come to our retreat who was a healer as well. And she just energetically knew what was going on. She put her hand on my back and she said, come with me, because I was having like really bad anxiety. And she took me off and she did what I do now for people at retreats. She held space for me to have my little breakdown. And it included howling, heaving, tearing up, probably snot. I actually vomited. That's probably too much information, but I had so much pent up stuff that I had pushed down. I was in the garden. It actually came out that way as well. It was crazy, absolutely crazy. So I now know what it feels like to have that release. To me, it's like having a baby, because you are exactly the same motion, is feeling the same way of just expelling and getting rid of stuff either out of your body. And the same way, I'll talk about the baby thing in a minute because it's going to be quite relative. I am concerned that no one's commenting because you girls are usually very interactive and I haven't had one comment. What is going on? Seriously. What is going on? Have a giggle at me because I know you've been in all these situations. But this is a good lesson for you guys that nothing is perfect. And you know what? I mean, I felt like when I had all these issues just to give up and not do the bloody webinar, I was like, oh, this is all too hard. I'm too stressed. I can't talk live. And now I'm talking and I don't think anyone's listening, but I still have to keep going. This is a bit like life. Like even if things are going to absolute shit, you still got to keep going. Just don't give up. Nothing has to be perfect. Actually, they're probably opposite. The less perfect things are, the better it is for people because they can relate to you. They can say, oh yeah, I had that exact situation. I scream at the computer. I get shitty. I want to give up. I want stuff to be perfect. Oh, look, she's the same as me. I can relate. So that's why I love these things. So back to emotions and breaking down. So I've had it. I know what it feels like. So what's happened over the retreat is we start to trigger people in a good way. So we put ideas to people and then we know what can open the can of worms. We're getting good at it, particularly my sister. She says at the start of the retreat, like at the one on Cairns, okay, because we all flew up together in the plane and we were all having a good time. And we had to sit everyone down at the start and say, okay, up to this point, we've been your friends. We've had good laughs. We've had a ball on the plane. We've giggled. But now the roles have changed. I am now not your friend. I am now your coach and your mentor, and you may not like me. So I'm going to maybe say or do things to you that you're not going to like, but it's for your own good. So what we do is we trigger. We know how to get in under people's pain and turn that little switch on that makes it come up, which sounds really horrible, but is actually so powerful, because when someone goes to that point of having that full breakdown, that is where the breakthrough is. That's where it happens. And it's amazing and magical to watch someone. And when they come into the retreat, they're stressed, they're anxious, they're hunched over, they've got shit going down. You can see it. And when they leave the retreat, they've got their head up, their shoulders back, and their face is different. And it's because they've released stuff. They've released things that are going on in their life. So just a little bit about emotions before we go. I did a live last week about it, so you would have seen that about yoga and why yoga makes you cry. Well, today it's based around the same theme, and I've got my little notes here, but we all know that stored emotions are not good for us. They are really, really toxic to our body. So what they cause is over time, if you keep suppressing and suppressing and pushing down and suppressing, you're going to end up with chronic health issues. So a lot of toxicity built up in your body. It can lead to burnout, a huge drain on your energy, inflammation. They actually say that stress and anxiety and suppressed emotions are like the silent killers. They are secretly working away in your body, doing all this damage, and we can't see what damage it's doing until it's too late, and bang, the silent killer. And it will cause chronic disease. It causes so many horrible things. So it's not a good thing to suppress and push down your emotions. I did learn a little fact today when I was having a play on the research. And what I learned was that if you guys are commenting and I'm not replying, it's because I can't see any comments. Nothing's coming up. So apologies. I'm sure you are. You always comment. So it's really bizarre. I can't see them. So I'm just going to say now, I can't see your comments. But keep commenting because I like to watch them later. What I learned is that when you're having an actual emotional cry, like one of those breakdown cries, is that your tears in an emotional cry, I never heard of this and this was cool. They have additional proteins and hormones that may have a relaxing or pain relieving effect on your body. No wonder you feel so good after a bloody goddamn good cry. So yeah, that was really interesting. And these hormones and proteins will regulate your body and return it to its natural state. So that was a big aha moment for me. The other thing I learned, and I sort of knew this stuff already, and that's what I mean. I get on here, I usually do a little bit of research before I get on just to see if I can learn anything new that I can share with you. But what I did learn, and this is again something I already knew subconsciously, is that our body has 5 stress containers where we hold all of our pent up emotion and stress. And you're going to nod your head when I say what they are, and you will 100% know that one of them is yours. So if I yell out one and this is yours, comment below and tell me. So the 5 stress containers, the first one is the jaw, the neck, and the face. You know, when you walk around and you end up with, I've had a really stressful day and I'm like, oh my God, I've got my jaws aching. It's because I've been clenching my jaw all day. Your neck, end up with migraines as you've got so much pressure in your neck, it shoots up into your head, headaches. So yeah, the first one is jaw, neck, and face. The second one is your shoulders and your heart. That's a big one, but especially right between your shoulder blades. Someone said to me the other day, oh, that's your heart. That's the back of your heart. And I was like, oh yeah, again, I had a huge aha moment because I didn't think of that. That spot right in between your shoulder blades, if you push forward, that's your heart. So it's your heart and your shoulders. Third one is your diaphragm and your lungs. So if you're struggling to breathe, that's another container. Your stomach, which is the really obvious one. When you feel stress or holding in emotion, you'll get a stomach pain, sometimes nausea. Makes sense that when you have the breakdown or the breakthrough that you have a good old vomit. And the last one, which I do hold a lot of mine, is the pelvic floor and the hip area. That's where we store a lot of our held onto emotions. So yeah, very interesting, but I did know that, but I wanted to really lay it out on the line for you so that you know, and that you guys are aware where you're storing your emotions, because we're all different. Mine's not so much my stomach. I don't feel it in my stomach. Mine's behind my shoulder blades and my neck jaw area. And I find that I hold stuff in my hips, but I don't realize. And it's not till I stretch them out or go into some sort of like yoga pose like I described in the last webinar, like pigeon pose or child's pose, that it allows my hips to open and then the emotion comes out. So they're the 5 stress containers, and there's a lot of things you can do particularly for each area. If you want to know more about that, let me know, and I can maybe do another live webinar on how to release the different areas of those stress containers. So the big thing with emotion is that it is energy. Energy in motion, we know that. So energy must be in motion or flowing to stay vital and clear. So it makes sense that when we are stressed or we're suppressing emotions, that our energy force is down to 0. We have no chi. We feel shit, basically, to put it nicely. We feel tired. We feel we just have lost our pizzazz. We don't have a zest for life. We feel burnt out. We feel sometimes angry. That's because our energy is not flowing because it's been blocked in these energy centers or these stress containers. So it's not flowing through nicely. Yeah, so that was really, really interesting. So now comes the best bit. How do we have a breakdown? like a full-blown breakdown. I'm not talking about a little release here or there, or I'm going to have a little cry for a few minutes. I'm not talking one of those. I'm talking about the full-blown snotty tears breakdown that I mentioned before. So first thing we need is we need to have a safe space. We're not going to have one of those breakdowns in our office at work. Well, we might have and we could, but it's not very common. You're not going to have a breakdown in the middle of a shopping centre. Again, possible, but not you wouldn't do it out of choice. You want to find a safe space where you feel contained to be able to let all that out, because it's pretty big stuff that comes out. That's why the retreats are the perfect place for it, because you are safe, you are contained, you are held, you're around women that can support you, and you're usually in a place where you feel relaxed. It's all links to like having a baby. The same thing when you have a baby, you go to a place where you feel safe, contained, relaxed, supported. It's the same thing. It's amazing when you compare it to having a baby. The other thing is you need to have done some work leading up to this. It's not usual that you can have a full, beautiful, ugly breakdown if you haven't done a little bit of work before, because you're not going to be aware that this stuff is going on. So for anyone that's had a massive, like that sort of full-on breakdown, it's usually because you have been digging. You've been tapping away at what's the emotions that are stored. You're starting to face things that you've hidden. You might have someone like me or Di that's just probing and just digging in a little bit deeper to try to work out what's going on for you. It's like chipping away, and it just chip the top off the iceberg, and then boom, it all comes out. Or the volcano that's been held tightly down, and then someone comes along and maybe just gives it a bit of a stir. That's what we're good at. We're good at giving the top of the volcano just a little bit of a stir, enough to break whatever the seal is that's holding all the lava in, and then boom, out it goes. So they're sort of the things that you need to have a breakdown. You need a private space. You need somewhere where you can just let go and not worry about being heard or judged or seen. So again, retreats are the perfect space. What I do when I have someone, I can tell, and I can pick people now, I can see what's going on. When I can see someone is really needing to release their stuff, I'll usually take them away into a quiet room, or if we're in nature, like down into the bush, somewhere where they're not going to be near people. First thing I tell people to do is get down into child's pose. So child's pose is, I'm not going to show you because I'm trying to hold my phone, but most people know what child's pose is. It's like your hips are quite spread, which opens up your hip joints, which releases all that pent-up stuff in your pelvic area and your hips. Arms outstretched, again, that's going to open out your shoulders and your heart. Your head on the ground, so it's going to make you feel secure and like held, because your head's on the ground. That's the first thing I tell people, you want to be somewhere comfortable. If child's pose is not comfortable, then obviously pick another one. But anything that opens up your body but makes you feel supported and safe. And the funny thing was, what position did I labour through both of my children through when I had my kids? Both of them I was labouring. Oh no, actually only the first one, I'd lie. Mila, I was in child's pose. Every time I had a contraction, I went straight down into child's pose and went through the contraction on child's pose, and then I'd come back up to rest. Mace was so quick. I did hypnobirthing on the couch, so there was no time for that chizzy. But yeah, child's pose, again, it's a really great birthing position. Child's pose, pillows handy. Get some pillows, because there's usually a lot of yelling. And then what I say to people do is if the emotion is starting to come up from here, is to let it go. And the first thing I'll tell people is to do a primal scream. So screaming like, ah, is not going to get out trapped emotions that are deep down in our stomach and our pelvic area. They're like, it's like breath. It's coming from up here. This is not going to, ah! Can you hear that? That is not going to be removing trapped emotions. That's nearly adrenaline. And again, in childbirth, I should have just called this childbirth versus snotty breakdowns, but it's very similar. In childbirth, my midwife's teaching you not to scream like high pitch, because that is adrenaline, flight and fright. It's coming from up the top of your lungs. What they teach you in childbirth is to have this guttural, primal yell. So low, opening your jaw, So opening your jaw will release the stress from your jaw, but your jaw also links to your pelvic area. This is all what I learned having a baby. So clenching like this when you're like in childbirth and is not going to help. So opening your jaw and letting out a guttural primal scream, like, whoa! You can hear that, like it's guttural and it's coming from way lower down in your lungs and down in from the bottom of your body, which is where all this emotion's stored. And allowing the energy to push through you. So allowing that, like you probably want to shake, like that heaving motion. And if you're having struggle, and obviously let the tears come, but if you're struggling to let the tears come, what I suggest to people, and this is what I did on the retreat, is I suggest that you actually go through the motions of crying, even if you're not crying. So do the hyperventilated breathing to start with. Make your stomach, I'm doing this, make your stomach go in and out, because what do you do when you have a big heaving cry is you, like your tummy goes in and out, your breath gets short, and you get that sort of motion. And if you've put your body physically into that state, the chances are that you will probably cry out with that. You'll let it out because your body thinks it's crying. I did it with a lady on the weekend and she was struggling to release it. I was nearly crying because I was teaching her, showing her what to do. And the next minute I'm like, oh my God, I feel like crying, because it's just putting your body into that state, and it's allowing your body to move how it would if it would cry. Obviously, if you think of something really traumatic and sad, that's going to help you. It's not nice, but if that's what you need to do to get it out, I would recommend doing that. So guttural, deep screaming. Pillow is the best because you can muffle and you feel safe and secure. So get a good pillow, like let it all out. And then when the tears start flowing, let them come out. Let the snot come out. Let it all come out, because that's all part of it. It's all energetic. When I find sometimes people can get really hot, and I've had people like not be able to sit still. They're like, their muscles, I've had a lady where her muscles seized up and she was like this, and that was all just energy, trapped energy, and she had to like flick her arms out to get the energy to move through her body. I had one woman who had to strip off down to a bra because she was so hot, because you think of energy is in motion and energy is heat. So she was releasing so much out that the heat overtook her body and she was like stripping clothes off. So yeah, just be aware of all this stuff. And yeah, move. If you've got to move. Like shake it, move, yell, scream, whatever you feel like at the time. I would recommend doing anything to help get it out. And if you've got a practitioner with you or someone that's supporting you, what I recommend for them to do, or if you're ever helping someone go through this, is just to hold space. You don't need to be in their face. You don't need to be commenting on every single thing they say. You don't need to be dabbing their tears and saying, oh, it's okay. Like, that's just telling them not to cry. Hold space energetically. Be with them, but don't be in their face. Let them go through their stuff. Let them know you're there by putting your hand on them somewhere on your body. I often find putting my hand on the base of their spine, like right just above their bum there, because that's really supportive, and it also helps that feeling of pushing stuff out from that area. I sometimes massage that. I sometimes rub up and down just to get the energy moving. A hand on the back between the shoulder blades is really beautiful for people too, just that supportive hand. Or if they're really having a traumatic time, it's just coming over and putting your hand just over their heart, like nicely, just here, pretty much saying, I'm here, I've got you, but I'm not going to come in and cry with you. You need to let them have space to cry, but not go down in with them, because you blubbering like them and cuddling and on the bed blubbering with them is not really going to help them. You need to be strong. If you want to cry, you cry, but your job is to hold space for them. Basically, hold space, keep the container, hands on if you can, to make them feel supported, and then let them do their thing. And it's amazing to watch, because you watch when someone comes out of that state, they look at you and like, oh, wow, I feel so much better. I feel so much better. They're lighter. Their wrinkles have usually disappeared. They look different. They've got a new zest for life because they've released all the muck. And as mentioned before, I did have a good vomit. So if you think you're heading in that direction, I would maybe grab a bucket or something to catch things in, just in case. You never know. I must admit, if you're having a good old spew, that's a breakdown of all breakdowns, and you're going to have huge results from it. So yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about. If you are the breakdown person, you know how to get it out. And if you're the breaky, whatever, if you're the one supporting, you know what to do for someone if they are having a breakdown. Obviously, this is not like a scientific art, but if I was you, I would find someone that knows what they're doing to support you through this. It's the best way. You don't want to be having a breakdown with someone that is going to make it worse. So seek out someone and say, look, you know, I'm feeling really pent up. Can you give me a hand here? And they will help you go through that. So I'm just trying to think of anything else. I'm going back just to the weekend because we had so many breakdowns. It was great. And they happen in all sorts of areas of the house, which I love. There's one, we were having breakfast. Next minute, someone's having a breakdown in the kitchen. Next minute, someone's in the back bedroom having a breakdown. Then, oh, hang on, we got another one over this side. That's why there's a few of us that run these retreats. And the women just had huge things. They've changed their life from it. Anyway, so... And I just want to give you a couple more tips on how to release emotion if you're not up for the snot and the tears. Obviously, these are all very well known, but just might be something to get started before if you're not quite ready to go the whole hog. Obviously, massage can help release all that tension through your body, through your fascia, as I mentioned last webinar. And you can get particular, like we've got Greg down the coast who I'm going to have a massage from. He actually specializes in emotional storage in fascia, and that's his specialist. So if you can find a specialist massage therapist. Float tanks are amazing because you can have the magnesium, the beautiful sounds, the water. Foam rollers on your back and lying down and opening up your chest. So anything that opens up through your chest like this and like that will help open up and let emotions out. Meditation obviously is always good. Breath work, which is really good if you're holding emotions in your, as we said, diaphragm or lungs. It allows it to release. Journaling, which gets it all out that way. And yoga or stretching, which I talked about last webinar. So yeah, there's some little tips for you. If you want to come with me and have a breakdown, feel free, book in, come in for healing. Say, I'm ready for the snot and tears, Michelle, bring it on. Or obviously you can book into one of our retreats, guaranteed breakdown, snot, tears coming your way. And I love that. I laugh. We always have a giggle. I go, I can't believe you paid us all this money just to have a good cry. But yeah, it changes people's lives. So yeah, amazing stuff. Just keep an eye every Wednesday at 12 o'clock on the Time to Shine group. My sister and I will be doing alternate Wednesdays and giving you a webinar with some information. If you want more than that, come along to our half-day workshop. All the details are on our website. You'll get a link and you can register for that. The next one is on the 24th of July, I think, and it's a Saturday for 4 hours online, and it's so much fun. And other than that, you can look at our website, www.those2sisters.com, and get all of the stuff we do, like cacao circles. Obviously, I do healings. We run retreats, as you just heard me talk about. We've got so much going on, but it's all in the one spot on our website. So get on there, have a look, get yourself to our half-day workshop, and come get snotty with me. I would love it. All right, now don't forget, if you watch this later, hashtag replay, give me comments. Apologies for all the tech issues. I hope you got lots out of this. I know I did, and I will see you Wednesday in 2 weeks' time to talk about another topic. And let's hope I don't have to go through it again, because I'm going to get my technology fixed so we don't have to go through that again. Love you guys. Bye.